I think it's an interesting question to kind of think about, is a place that's special like this good enough as is to enjoy and to preserve, or do you need something else to be able to enjoy it? That could be a road, that could be a slingshot bungee launcher that throws your body over the edge of the canyon. It could be a fake pond, or it could be just a bathroom. Open question for you to think about. All right, well, what is this, like our 4th time through Colorado? 3rd?
Something like
5th?
that.
This time, there's still more stuff to check out in Colorado, which amazes me how diverse Colorado is. This first canyon is, as far as I can tell, totally private, and it's just chock full with, like, amusements. Do you want to go on the chairlift, the bridge, the zip line, the bungee? I kind of want my body to be launched over nature. That's how I enjoy a gorge the most.
Yeah.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't have too much critique besides, if you're here to enjoy nature or kind of enjoy the scale of it, it's a little bit less impressive when there's an ice cream shop, on top of it.
Which unfortunately is closed right now.
If it was open, then we'd have no problems, right? I can't say the view is quite as good out of a glass box, to tell you the truth. What do you think?
I don't know, it's still pretty cool. I mean, it's glass going down, you can see it.
It is cool.
What is everything cliche we can do in a Rocky Mountain attraction?
They don't have the oysters. Teddy Roosevelt just couldn't get this one before Joe Schmo got it. I'm not gonna knock it till I try it, till I launch my body over an abyss, but I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
So a few quick things. Black Canyon, it's a little bit like Grand Canyon. It has a north rim and a south rim, and it'll be an interesting comparison to a similar version of this that was essentially private or owned by a city, but has been turned into a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
All right, so public land doesn't mean that it's less popular. We've already been aced out in one parking lot here, and we haven't even gotten to the zip line yet.
Wait, there's a zip line?
No, there's not a zip line.
Okay, so what do you do here besides just go to like the edge of a lookout and look out?
It's a good question because, not to be flippant, but what do you do in any national park? If there's no rides. Right?
I feel, are there a lot of trails here and stuff though?
I think there are. I mean, I think that's part of it, is that you're just enjoying a really spectacular area, right?
Got it. Cool.
Which isn't just some other canyon. It's, a really cool canyon. I don't know. I could be making this up, so we'll have to figure out what we do here, I guess.
Sounds good. That's the north rim right there?
That's the north rim, yeah. Okay, so the north rim, there's pretty much nothing. I think it's dirt roads and
Good toilet?
maybe more than an hour just to get over there, even though you can see it, which is kind of a funny comparison that the other place, you can drive like 100 Broncos, on both sides of it.
Yeah.
But it makes it more interesting when you can't just, drive over the freeway to get to the other side.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like the north rim of Grand Canyon.
Yep. The park has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder from not being the Grand Canyon, or at least being compared to other canyons. But the interesting thing is that it has a combination of all the coolest stuff of the other canyons. It's not the deepest or the narrowest or the longest, but it has the highest combination of all of those things, which contributes to why it's a pretty cool thing to see, right? You know what makes this better?
A zip line?
If we built a pond right here and put a fountain in it. So I'm gonna reserve my opinion because honestly, you probably don't care about it that much, but just remembering the Roosevelt quote that's simple as leave it as it is. I think it's an interesting question to kind of think about, is a place that's special like this good enough as is to enjoy and to preserve, or do you need something else to be able to enjoy it? That could be a road, that could be a slingshot bungee launcher that throws your body over the edge of the canyon. It could be a fake pond, or it could be just a bathroom.
You ready?
Open question for you to think about. Okay, so before we leave Colorado for, I don't know, the third or fourth time, I thought that we should go to one more national park site. And it's like hilariously fitting that after all the national parks in Colorado, we're finishing with Colorado National Monument. So to tell you the truth, I had no idea that Colorado National Monument existed. National Monument. And I think that's kind of typical because a lot of people focus just on national parks and not national monuments. Okay, so fun fact for the day, the only difference between a national park and a national monument is that a national monument is created by an executive order by the president, but a national park requires an act of Congress with both houses of Congress. There's no difference between national parks and national monuments in terms of funding or amenities or almost anything besides the legalese. That being said, now we have a ton of national monuments that really feel like national parks. Mm-hmm. The only difference was they were created by a president, not by Congress.
This would be a really cool national park.
And what's interesting too is most of the more recent national parks, almost all of them, are converted national monuments. And the only legal change is their name. But they did that in a lot of cases to promote more travel to the parks.
True.
Because people like national parks more than monuments. What up, everybody? Welcome to Utah. If you're a national park person, you've heard about the Big Five. These are 5 national parks in Utah. We've got one weekend, and we are going to see every single park of the Big Five in Utah.